everyone, welcome back to My World, My Way. This is your daily podcast to get all the news stories you need in the world. I'm your host, Max, and let's get started. So, it's been quite a bit of a while since I actually filmed my last episode, like the end of last year. And this is episode 12 of my podcast. So, it's about that time of year. I'm about to get out of school. So, I gotta get this go back up and going. We're going to re-amp this whole entire thing. We're going to make this a pretty good podcast. Our goal is eventually I should get myself on like a major, maybe like a podcast like Daily Wire, Live with Crowder, or even Fox News. Any takers out there, I'll go on your podcast and I'll talk. Anyway, so today we just have a very quick story about meeting stuff happening in our world today. I'm going to save a lot of these news stories, get into more detail and nitty-gritties over break. But first, I think we have to talk about the major talk in the town, which is the Irvine school shooting, which recently just happened a week ago in Irvine, Texas, at Robb Elementary School. Now, my condolences go out to all families that has suffered through this attack. There are 21 confirmed kills, one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history. 19 kids are dead, and 2 teachers are also dead. It's a very sad incident. And it could have all been prevented with 2 easy steps. But let's see what both sides of the political aisle wants. So Democrats, of course, are turning back to this as their usual gun control talk. The gun control lobby, as they say. The NRA is such an evil corporation that they're lobbying us to keep guns. They want to give guns to 18-year-old boys who have mental issues and go kill people, The usual stuff after any major issue. And President Biden, now, he could seize this opportunity and turn it into an issue where we could both unite the political aisle. He goes upstage. I have hope for it. I watched first 2 minutes of it, completely destroy it. He divided us even more from this because he, of course, pushed the blame on NRA and the Republicans. Now, what do the Republicans have to say? Now, some Republicans are siding, the rhinos are siding with the Democratic Party on this with gun control. Your obvious Mitchell Turtle Mike, your usual ones who are the never Trumpers. But what I'd like to see is stuff from many political podcasters, like Matt Walsh, one of my favorites, who said, well, we have armed guards at the Capitol building. We saw that with the January riots, January 6th, where they put the National Guard there. So why can't we arm our schools, have armed security guards, or arm our teachers, something I totally support. And then we see another common myth, the myth of, background checks. It's one of the dumbest myths that the Democrats have been pushing is that, we need background checks. It's they're really that stupid that they don't think background checks. If you go get a gun right now, you are going to have to go through thousands of sheets of paper and a background check. It's pretty hard to attain a weapon in the United States. And now they're pushing that, the background checks don't even exist. And they're so disconnected from our reality that they don't even take an issue. A senator doesn't even take the time out of his daily life to learn about how gun processing works. Because if you're going to push for banning of a weapon, I'm pretty sure you should have to know how you attain one first. But nope. Usual thing with our politicians, they're just so dumb and so disconnected out of the average American like us that they just don't know. They start pushing stupid myths and stupid ideas. And that will take us into another issue. Gas prices. Now, if you've gone to the pump recently, you realize that it's getting up there quickly. Here in the South, we're looking at $4, $4.30 a gallon. Pretty horrible. My case is it's up 40% from a year ago. But go out to California. I've seen stuff that's like $7, $8 a gallon. And JP Morgan recently reported that we could see $6 in August, $10 possibly, and if it gets worse. I have hopes for the midterms. It is predicted that we will have a red wash in the midterms, and people know I'm kind of reading right. I kind of not take sides in this, just trying to give you the facts. But if the Republicans get in 2022 midterms, your lives will improve greatly. It's not the mean treats this time, so hopefully people will go vote and not vote for feelings, vote basically off of how horrible their lives are at this point under the Biden regime. But hopefully we could see that happen. Now to the last topic we're going to get to today is it's June. It's June 1st when I'm recording this, and you know what that means. It's Pride Month. Now, I don't want to sound like that bigot who doesn't like gay rights, stuff like that, but I don't care what you do. Just don't push it in my face, and that's what irritates me. They're pushing it in your face. So far, I have not seen any of the major corporations gone the woke route yet, but give it time, it'll happen. And this kind of connects to a topic a few months ago, but he has come back in the news recently, Leah Thomas. So if you don't know who Leah Thomas is, which I would be surprised, but let me just explain it quickly. So Leah Thomas was a male a few years ago, and he was a good swimmer, but 300th place in the United States. So he transitions to a female. He's now one of the best female swimmers. So you may be asking to yourself, well, how does that work? You just go from 300 to 1 in a day. And what happens is, let me just basically explain basic biology to you Democrats out there. So there's two genders. Let's just say there's two primary sexes. You know what? They talk about like, oh, sex is biological, gender's decisible, okay? So there's male and female, and that's what you're assigned with at birth, and let's not get into gender debate because I don't want to be censored. So he starts off as a male, which he's not the best, but he's still pretty good in my opinion. I swim, and I can never be him if he stayed a male. So he stays a male, but then he transitions to a female. He still has a lot of the testosterone, and he's bigger, beefier, muscular than most females. Not being an insult, sexist towards females, but it's true. A female does not have the same body structure as a male does. Males are more meant for racing and stuff like that than females are. They can still do it, but if they were to compete with each other, females would come in last, and then your males would be in first. And that's what we saw in his race in March, I believe. So he races, and he's in first place by 16 seconds. A completely horrible show, in my opinion, that they allowed him to race, and next they allow him to win a gold medal 16 seconds, even though he's not a female. He just identifies as a female. And now you have many women out there who are just like, this is unfair. It's hypocrisy that the left is very hypocritical on this issue, I think. They pick Kamala Harris for vice president. They're like, she's first female, first black female, first Asian females, blah, 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 continuing. But then they want to tell you that Leah Thomas is actually a male. So which one is it? And then they also want to support female sports. I'm going to say that. They're out there like, oh, girl power, stuff like that. So if you really supported females, you would think they would be totally against Leah Thomas. But nope, they aren't, because transgender. And the left is turning into a party that used to be for the little man, where it's like, I care about people, I care about the guy who's a farmer, the coal miner, and to the party that's like, if you're not Black, Asian, Hispanic, Latinx, woman, all this stuff, you are not allowed. And I'm talking more about the straight, white, Christian, conservative male. They absolutely hate that. It's turned into a party that is, you need more labels, you need to be more marginalized to gain power in the party. We can also see this with TikTok. First off, TikTok, if you don't know what it is, since we have older viewers out there, TikTok is an app which is of like 15, 30-second shorts. You can just go swiping through your phone. It's absolutely horrible app. I've never used it, but it's turning into the modern day methamphetamine. But so basically, we see this rise of mental disorders, specifically DID, which is multi personalities disorders, which is where people think there's like, not instead of themselves, there's 10 of them. And it's on the rise. And first off, before TikTok, it's a very, very rare disorder to have. And it's usually something that goes along with people who are psycho. It's a very common thing to see with mentally challenged. It's a very common thing to see with school shooters. It's like the target demographics, obviously people who have been mentally disrupted. Usually people who has traumatizing memories, and they make up these personalities to get over issues from their past lives, distract themselves, which is honestly understandable. A lot of people on the right, the only thing I hate about Republicans is that I feel like a lot of people, like, again, Matt Walsh, they don't understand mental disease and they just call it faking. And it's really hurtful for someone like me who actually does have anxiety. It's like, people don't fake it. They actually feel very concerned about it. But it goes to an extent. On TikTok, you see this rise as like a hashtag, a trend. And it's heavily concerning. And also the thing with, I think it's Eritrea's, I remember it, but it's a thing where people will make tics. It's, again, very rare, but perfectly fine. If we're going with the left, diversity is strength. But people would purposely fake it. It's so absurd, our society. We live in a disgusting, eroding society today. But that's all I have to say on it. So back to our main issue, where it's like, you need these mental disorders. You need to be woman, you need to be Latinx, you need to be African American, you need to be all these things that actually gain ranks in the Democratic Party. Honestly, it's quite concerning. More news is to come, though. I'm Max. This is My World, My Way. Have a good day. See you next time.